Shabbat Shalom, my brothers and sisters in Yahuwah Elohim, and welcome to our Shabbat Bible study. Tonight, we will be continuing in Shophetim, which is Judges, and we'll be studying chapters 4, 5, and 6. So go ahead and grab your Bibles and get comfy, get settled in, and we'll get started this evening on our studies. I hope everybody had a great week. Now it's time for Shabbat. Time to just settle in and study Yah's Word and pray over it. Pray over what you're studying. Don't just take it for granted of what I'm reading to you is what it's supposed to be. Take it upon yourself. It's your responsibility. I'm just a guy who reads the Bible. I am not a pastor or anything like that. I've read the book a lot of times, and I got a pretty good idea of it, but I'm still learning just like you are. So please, read along with me. That way you see it with your eyes and you hear it with your ears. Don't just allow me to read to you and think that that's going to be good enough. Okay? I'm not a perfect person. By far, I am not a perfect person. But I'm trying, just like you are. I know you're trying, and we all struggle. We all struggle. This is a walk. We're on a path. So let's take this path together. Go ahead and grab your Bibles, all right? I'm going to take a drink real quick and get myself ready here to do some reading. And we're going to have a really, really nice study tonight, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Alrighty then. Let me put on my eyeballs so I can see. Oh, wow. There's actually words on the page. Okay, gang. Y'all ready? Shophetim, which is Judges, chapter 4. And when Ehud was dead, the children of Israel again did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah. Therefore Yahuwah sold them into the hand of Jabin, the sovereign of Canaan, the king of Canaan, who reigned at Hatzor, and the commander of his army was Sisera, who was dwelling in Harosheth Hagoyim. Boy, I hope I got that right. Verse 3, and the children of Israel cried out to Yahuwah, because he had 900 chariots of iron, and for 20 years he harshly oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was ruling Israel at the time. Very interesting, huh? That despite the fact that a woman is not supposed to be a priest, this woman, Deborah, is the leader of Israel. Huh. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? She's a prophetess. So they probably all really look up to her, okay? So that's probably why. Nothing against women. I'm just going by Torah. And I find it interesting that she is the leader of Israel. That no man has challenged her. It's very interesting. But if you're sent by the Most High, there's no man's going to come up against you anyway. So, just something to think about. Verse 5, and she was dwelling under the palm tree of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel, in the mountains of Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for right ruling. And she sent and called for Barak, son of Abinoam, from Kadesh in Naphtali, and said to him, has not Yahuwah Elohim of Israel commanded, go, and you shall draw toward Mount Tabor, and shall take with you 10,000 men of the sons of Naphtali and the sons of Zebulun. And I shall draw unto you Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his company, at the Wadi Kishon, and shall give him into your hand. And Barak said to her, If you go with me, then I shall go. But if you do not go with me, I do not go. And she said, I certainly shall go with you. Only there shall be no esteem for you in the journey you are taking. For Yahuwah is going to sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. So Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. So there's no esteem for Barak. There's no glory for Barak. All the glory is for Yahuwah. Always should be. Verse 10, And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and he went up, 10,000 men under his command, and Deborah went up with him. And Heber, the Canaanite, of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moshe, had separated himself from the Canaanites, and pitched his tent near the terebinth tree at Tisanaim, which is beside Kadesh. So the father-in-law, the tribe of the father-in-law of Moshe is now hanging out by the terebinth tree. They separated themselves from these crazies. Verse 12, And they reported to Sisera that Barak, son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor. So Sisera called all his chariots, 900 chariots of iron, and all the people who were with him, from Harosheth Hagoyim to the Wadi Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, Rise up, for this is the day which Yahuwah has given Sisera into your hand. Has not Yahuwah gone out before you? And Barak went down from Mount Tabor, with 10,000 men after him. And Yahuwah destroyed Sisera, and all his chariots, and all his army with the edge of the sword, before Barak. And Sisera leaped from his chariot and fled away on foot. So Sisera's running away from the battle on foot. Verse 16, But Barak pursued the chariots and the army as far as Harosheth Hagoyim, and all the army of Sisera fell by the edge of the sword. Not one was left. Sisera, meanwhile, had fled on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber, the Canaanite. For there was peace between Jabin, sovereign of Hatzor, and the house of Heber, the Canaanite. And Jael went out to meet Sisera, and said to him, Turn aside, my master, turn aside to me, do not fear. So he turned aside with her into the tent, and she covered him with a blanket. And he said to her, Please, give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. So she opened a bottle of milk, and gave him a drink, and covered him. And he said to her, Stand at the door of the tent, and it shall be if anyone comes and asks you, and says, Is there a man here? You shall say no. But Jael, Heber's wife, took a tent peg, and took a hammer in her hand, and went softly to him, and drove the peg into the side of his head, and it went down into the ground, for he was fast asleep and exhausted, and he died. And see, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him, and said to him, Come, let me show you the man whom you are seeking. And when he went into her tent, there lay Sisera, dead, with a peg in the side of his head. And on that day Elohim humbled Jabin, sovereign of Canaan, in the presence of the children of Israel. And the hand of the children of Israel grew stronger and stronger against Jabin, sovereign of Canaan, until they had cut off Jabin, sovereign of Canaan. Chapter 5. And on that day Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam, sang, saying, this is a song, for leaders leading in Israel, for the people volunteering, bless Yahuwah. Hear, O sovereigns, give ear, O princes. I do sing to Yahuwah. I sing praise to Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. Yahuwah, when you went out from Seir, when you stepped from the field of Edom, the earth shook, and the heavens poured. The clouds also poured water. The mountains flowed at the presence of Yahuwah, this Sinai at the presence of Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anath, in the days of Yael, the highways were deserted, and the travelers went in crooked ways. Leadership ceased. It ceased in Israel, until I, Deborah, arose, a mother in Israel arose. They chose new mighty ones. They chose new gods. Then fighting was in the gates. Neither a shield nor spear was seen among 40,000 in Israel. My heart is toward the inscribers of Israel, the volunteers among the people. Bless Yahuwah. You who ride on white donkeys, you who sit on rich carpets, and you who walk along the way, declare it. By the voice of shouters, between the places of drawing water, there they recount the righteous acts of Yahuwah, the righteous acts of his leadership in Israel. Then the people of Yahuwah shall go down to the gates. Wake up! Wake up, Deborah! Wake up, wake up! Sing a song! Arise, Barak! Lead your captives away, O son of Abinoam. Then he set the remnant to rule the nobles. Yahuwah came down for me against the mighty ones. Out of Ephraim, their root is against Amalek. After you, Benjamin, with your people, out of Machir inscribers came down, and out of Zebulun, those who handle the scribes read. And the heads of Issachar were with Deborah, and as Issachar, so was Barak sent into the valley under his command. Among the divisions of Reuben, there were great searchings of heart. Reuben didn't show up. Why did you remain among the sheepfolds to hear the bleating of the flocks? The divisions of Reuben have great searching of heart. Gilead remains beyond the Yarden. And why did Dan remain on ships? Asher continued at the seashore, and remained by its landing places. Zebulun is a people who risked their lives to the point of death. Naphtali also on the heights of the field. Sovereigns came, they fought. Then the sovereigns of Canaan fought in Taanach. By the waters of Megiddo they took no spoils of silver. From the heavens they fought. The stars from their courses fought against Sisera. The wadi of Kishon swept them away, that age-old wadi, the wadi of Kishon. O my being, you have trampled in strength. Then stamped hooves of horses with the galloping of his steeds. Curse Meroz, said the messenger of Yahuwah. Curse its inhabitants, because they did not come to the help of Yahuwah among the mighty. Blessed above the women is Jael, the wife of Eber the Canaanite. Above women in tents she is blessed. He asked for water, she gave milk. She brought out curdled milk in a bowl for nobles. She stretched her hand to the tent peg, and her right hand to the workman's hammer. Then she pounded Sisera, she smashed his head, she pierced and struck through the side of his head. Between her feet he bowed, he fell, he lay still. Between her feet he bowed, he fell. Where he bowed, there he fell, destroyed. Through the window the mother of Sisera looked, and cried out through the lattice, Why does his chariot delay to come? Why have the steps of his chariot tarried? The wise ones of her princes answered her indeed. She answered herself. Do they not find and divide the spoil? A girl or two for each man. A spoil of dyed work for Sisera. A spoil of dyed work embroidered. Dyed work richly embroidered for the neck of the looter. So do all your enemies perish, O Yahuwah, but let those who love him be like the sun rising in its might. And the land had rested, guess how many years? 40. There's that number again. 40 years. Chapter 6. And the children of Israel did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah gave them into the hands of Midian for 7 years. And the hand of Midian was strong against Israel, and before the faces of the Midianites the children of Israel made for themselves the refuges which are in the mountains, and the caves, and the strongholds. They couldn't even hold the cities that Yah had given them, so they had to flee to the mountains. Verse 3, And it came to be whenever Israel had sown, that Midian would come up, and Amalek, and the people of the east would come up against them, and encamp against them, and destroy the increase of the soil as far as Azah, and leave no food in Israel, neither sheep, nor ox, nor donkey. So as soon as they would sow their fields and it would start to grow, the Midians would come in and take everything and eat it all and camp out. Not very nice, huh? And then take all their donkeys and their sheep and their ox and everything. So there probably was some famine going on there. What are the 3 things that happen during judgment? Pestilence, famine, and war. Over and over. Okay. Verse 5, For they came up with their livestock and their tents, coming in as numerous as locusts, and they and their camels were without number, and they came into the land to destroy it. Thus Israel was brought very low because of Midian, and the children of Israel cried out to Yahuwah. And it came to be, when the children of Israel cried out to Yahuwah because of Midian, that Yahuwah sent a prophet to the children of Israel, who said to them, Thus said Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, I have brought you up from Mitzrayim, and I brought you out of the house of bondage. Yahuwah sent a prophet. Let's read on. Verse 9, And I delivered you out of the hand of the Mitzrayites, and out of the hand of all your oppressors, and drove them out before you, and gave you their land. Sounds like Yahuwah talking, huh? Oh, it's interesting, a prophet. Verse 10, And I said to you, I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do not fear the mighty ones of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, and you have not obeyed my voice. And the capital M messenger of Yahuwah. Oh boy, guess who's here? Yahusha. Capital M messenger of Yahuwah. It's another Christophany. Came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Ophrah, which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, which his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress to hide it from the eyes of the Midianites. And the capital M messenger of Yahuwah appeared to him and said to him, Yahuwah is with you, you mighty brave one. And Gideon said to him, O my master, if Yahuwah is with us, why has all this come upon us? And where are all his wonders which our fathers related to us, saying, Did not Yahuwah bring us up from Mitzrayim? But now Yahuwah has left us and given us into the hands of Midian. And Yahuwah turned to him and said, Go in this strength of yours, and you shall save Israel from the hands of the Midianites. Have I not sent you?" So now Yahuwah is talking to him straight up. Verse 15, "And he said to him, O Yahuwah, with what do I save Israel? See, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." And Yahuwah said to him, "Because I am with you, you shall strike the Midianites as one man." And he said to him, "Please, if I have found favor in your eyes, then show me a sign that it is you who are speaking with me. Please, do not move away from here until I come to you and bring out my offering and set it before you." And he said, "I shall stay until you return." And Gideon went in and prepared a young goat and unleavened bread from an ephah of flour. The meat he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and he brought them out to him under the terebinth tree, and presented it. And the capital M messenger of Elohim said to him, "Take the meat and the unleavened bread, and lay them on this rock, and pour out the broth." And he did so. And the capital M messenger of Yahuwah put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the meat and the unleavened bread, and fire went up out of the rock, and consumed the meat and the unleavened bread, and the capital M messenger of Yahuwah went from his sight. And when Gideon saw that he was a messenger, capital M, of Yahuwah, Gideon said, "O Master Yahuwah, for I have seen a capital M messenger of Yahuwah face to face." And Yahuwah said to him, "Peace be with you. Do not fear. You do not die." And Gideon built a slaughter place there to Yahuwah, and called it Yahuwah Shalom. To this day it is still in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And the same night it came to be that Yahuwah said to him, "Take the young bull of your father, and the second bull of 7 years old, and you shall throw down the slaughter place of Baal that your father has, and cut down the Asherah that is beside it." Okay, let's look at this for a minute. There is a slaughter place that his father built, and an Asherah beside it. Remember what the Asherah is? Yeah, a giant phallic symbol, and they dance around for fertility. Hand in hand, Baal and Asherah. Oh boy. Verse 26, "And you shall build a slaughter place to Yahuwah your Elohim on top of this rock in an orderly way, and shall take the second bull, and offer an ascending offering with the wood of the image which you cut down." So take that Asherah down and use the wood to do the sacrifice. Verse 27 and Gideon took 10 men from among his servants, and did as Yahuwah had said to him. And it came to be, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city too much to do it by day, that he did it by night. And the men of the city arose early in the morning, and saw the slaughter place of Baal was broken down, and the Asherah that was beside it had been cut down, and the second bull was being offered on the slaughter place which was built. And they said to each other, "Who has done this deed?" And when they had inquired and asked, they said, "Gideon, son of Joash, has done this deed." And the men of the city said to Joash, "Bring out your son, so that he dies, for he has broken down the slaughter place of Baal, and because he has cut down the Asherah that was beside it." And Joash said to all who stood against him, would you plead for Baal? Would you save him? Let the one who would plead for him be put to death by morning. If he is a mighty one, let him plead for himself, because his slaughter place has been broken down. Let Baal stand up for himself if he's able to. verse 32, so that day he called him Yerubbaal, saying, let Baal plead against him, because he has broken down his slaughter place. Now all Midian and Amalek and the people of the east were gathered together, and they passed over and encamped in the valley of Yezreel. Then the spirit of Yahuwah came upon Gideon, and he blew the shofar, and the Abiezrites gathered behind him. And he sent messengers throughout all of Manasseh, who also gathered behind him. And he sent messengers to Asher, and to Zebulun, and to Naphtali, and they came up to meet them. And Gideon said to Elohim, if you are saving Israel by my hand, as you have said, see, I am placing a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew only on the fleece, and it is dry on the ground, then I shall know that you are saving Israel by my hand, as you have said. And it was so. And he rose up early the next morning and pressed the fleece, and wrung dew out of the fleece to fill a bowl with water. And Gideon said to Elohim, do not be displeased with me, and let me speak only this time. Please let me try only this time with the fleece. Please let it be dry only on the fleece, and let there be dew on all the ground. And Elohim did so that night, and it was dry on the fleece only, but there was dew on all the ground. And that's the end of chapter 6. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like Judges. Judges are fun. That's a good read right there. We can see how the children of Israel kept sliding off, kept falling off the edge. They're giving praise to Baal, dancing around the Ashtaroth. Wow, they didn't pay much attention each time. Each time, Yah put them into bondage and brought their enemies out against them. And, there was famine and warfare all over the place. And they just didn't get it until a judge came and saved them out from whoever was oppressing them at the time. And it happens over and over and over. They just, like we talked about the last study, it only takes one generation for them to forget. One generation for them all to forget. Well, gang, that's it for today. And I hope y'all enjoyed the study, and I hope y'all got a lot out of it. There's some lessons to be learned there. Definitely, there's some lessons to be learned. If you need to, read it again. Read it back. Read it to your children. Help them to understand so that they're not the generation that's the next one to fall off the edge. Help them to understand. Teach your children. Without us teaching them, they don't have a chance. Help them out. All right. Well then, I hope y'all have a great Shabbat. Enjoy the Shalom, Yah's peace on Yah's day. Pray and study with your children. And all those that are seeking wisdom and knowledge of Yahuwah, bless you all. And praise Yahuwah, praise our Elohim. Give thanks and praise for everything in your lives. All right, gang. We will see y'all again on Wednesday's midweek Bible study. Okay? And I'm stirring up something to maybe do for an extra canonical, so stand by on those. I think you're going to like it. All right. Y'all have a great day. Shabbat Shalom.